What's in Your Fridge, episode number 2. It's the second Friday, I think, of this whole ordeal. And we are, okay, so my husband is on a virtual happy hour right now. Turn the camera away from them. Hi! Anyway, we are going to go through my fridge and make up something tonight for dinner. And some things that I found that will work. I found these earlier and I already prepped them a little bit. Mushrooms. So we are going to do a cream of mushroom soup tonight and a salad. And the salad is going to be made with kale and spinach and some roasted tomatoes. So here are my mushrooms. How are you guys, by the way, tonight? Everybody doing good? I want to make sure my cameraman keeps the camera on and not on the counter. So definitely call out anything that you see as you see it so that we can keep the momentum going, okay? So, did you guys all enjoy the last episode? Did you make any nachos? So, with our soup tonight, we're going to start with onions and saute them, and then we're going to finish those with a little bit of garlic. The sauteed mushrooms, then finish that with some wine. Typically, you would use a marsala in this, but we don't have marsala. So we're going to use wine that's left over from last night. We did have wine left over. Oh, in fact, wine. Let's have some. This is a wine that was given to me at my last cooking class before we were all in the shelter-in-place episode. And my friend who gave it to me said it's delicious. So we're going to try that tonight. Hope you all are already enjoying a nice glass of wine wherever you are.
Wait, he can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta make a noise for it to
And there's my husband putting on his virtual happy hour right now in the background. It's a little distracting. So, cheers.
Birds, you need to change your
All right. So I'm gonna dice up some onion. I'm gonna use about 1.5 onions in this. And it's really just stuff that's kind of left over in the fridge from people making things during the week. How's it been at your house this week? Have people been doing well with their schoolwork, with their online schoolwork, and working from home? How many people have lost their internet signal? I think we did pretty good. I think we ran into some connectivity issues this morning, but we got past it. We do have a backup if we ever need it, where our phones can put out a signal, and most of us, I think, probably have that. But it used to be when our internet went down, we would go to Starbucks. Well, they're closed. So we really have to get creative. So I don't know about the weather where you are right now, but here in Colorado, it's kind of crappy. And I thought a soup would be a nice compliment for the day. I think pretty soon we're going to be having some decent weather. Okay, so my husband isn't really paying much attention to what's going on here tonight, but hope you all are enjoying the humor in it. All right, so let's keep these onions going. Get them diced pretty evenly. This is not going to be blended. We're going to leave everything as it is. Whereas a lot of other cream soups, you might blend them. We're just going to let it go on its own. Alright, so there's about 1.5 onions diced, ready to go. Carrie, I don't know if you're on in South Carolina, but notice I'm using my bamboo cutting board. Did you buy one this past week off of Amazon? If so, did it get you? I haven't ordered it off of Amazon since all of this started, so I don't know if their deliveries have been on time. Is your Prime paying for itself, or are you waiting more than a day or two? Alright, so we're going to get these mushrooms sliced up pretty well. I have about a pound, I think, of mushrooms. So my friend Megan was heading out to the grocery store the other day, And I'm going to say these were not already in my refrigerator. She sent me a text, do you need anything from the grocery store? And I was like,
I know, right?
Mushrooms. I think mushrooms would be good tonight. But I didn't use them. So I thought I'd use them in our soup this evening. What's so funny over there? What are you guys laughing at? All right, so I think my family is having more fun than anybody else. Who else
Yes,
is
it is.
laughing at me out
Mushrooms,
there
onions.
right now? Are there any comments coming in that I can talk to people about? Come on now, people. Start
Yeah, hi guys,
chatting.
Amy, Melissa.
How's everything? Seriously, how's everybody holding up? Because this is really meant to keep you all looking forward maybe to something. I don't know if this is that entertaining or not, but you know, there's just only so much you can do in your house with your family. And I don't know what's going on in your town, but here in Colorado, we are, what's it called? Shelter in place. Until when? What? Okay, why is everybody laughing so hard? I need to be in on the joke. This is not funny. All right, anyway, we're just going to breeze through the chopping of these mushrooms quickly. I'm already done with the onions, Eric. I don't know why you're still crying. Okay. And I have Cole in the background teasing the dog, so you're going to hear the dog bark at Cole in a second. We've been telling the kids, though,
All right, right there.
don't get bit, don't break anything, because we're not going to the hospital. We will avoid the hospital for now. And for everyone out there who is on the front lines, like our friends Roxy and Rick, I don't know if you're watching this right now or if you're at the hospital, but thank you. Yeah, everybody who is out there taking care of the sick, we thank you. You're amazing. This soup's for you. All right, we're just about done with all these mushrooms. So I still have to chop up the garlic, but I can absolutely get the onions started. I'm going to heat up my pan. I want to make sure it's a big enough pan that has good surface space so that the onions and the mushrooms cook up well and can also hold all the liquid that we're going to use. I'm going to use some butter, I think, actually, instead of oil. Butter's going to make it richer, more flavorful. So I've got a half a stick of butter here. That's about 4 tablespoons. This is not one of those healthy evenings, by the way. This is going to be very rich and very creamy and just delicious. All right. So while that butter is melting down and getting nice and hot, I'm going to start prepping the garlic. I'm going to move the mushrooms into the bowl. We do need some music, Cole. Why don't you pick something that's not rap? All right, watch out. Cole is in charge of the music, and you never know what you might get. All right, I'm peeling the garlic. I like to give it a little smash with the knife that loosens up the skin. You could just break it right off. Nice and quick and easy. So did you guys have a good week? Was it weird? So this was our first week of having the kids at home and homeschooling, basically. They've been doing it pretty much on their own. But I got to tell you, so my son had to write a massive essay for his AP Lit class. It was amazing. It was all poetry, which poetry is really hard to work with. He did a phenomenal job. I mean, reading through this multi-page essay on Robert Browning, what's it called? Yeah. Really impressive. Well done. So I'm kind of enjoying having them home and seeing the work that they're doing. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it too, as much as you can. I mean, I know it's hard not to be able to go out, but we're finding some great ways to enjoy it. And this is one of them. What's in your fridge, episode 2. All right, I did start a YouTube channel too, you guys. I recorded last week's session and uploaded it there. All right, so my butter is melting and it's sizzling. Yum, butter. And Cole is laughing at me. He has no appreciation for this. But if he learns how to do it, he'll really impress the girls at college next year. All right. So, we're gonna be adding our onions soon and getting those translucent, or sweating the onions. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted by Eric and all of his friends that are on their happy hour, virtual happy hour thing right now. Are you on Google Hangouts? No? Zoom? What are you on?
Cisco. WebEx.
Well, okay. So everybody, what's your go-to? Do you like doing the Facebook Live, or would you prefer Zoom? Would you prefer YouTube Live? Would you prefer Instagram Live? Cole says, yeah, that's for the young crowd. It's easier. It is probably easier for you guys. All right, so I've got my garlic ready. Gonna let those onions cook a bit. We've got the mushrooms. Once we get all of that cooked up, we're gonna reduce some wine into the mixture. Let that cook out. Then we're gonna add a little bit of flour, because the flour will add some body to the whole soup, and it'll give it some extra flavor. When you cook the flour out, it's like the base of a roux, but we're not doing a traditional roux. We're not going to cook the flour in the butter and then finish it with the liquid. We're going to cook the flour already in the product and let that become the thickening agent. Salad. So I happen to have a salad already made from earlier. Like I said, it's spinach and baby kale. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some roasted tomatoes and artichoke hearts. And we're not going to do a traditional salad dressing. We're going to use the oil from the artichokes and some fresh lemon. So we've got to get the brush ready for the tomatoes. About 2 should be probably more than enough. It's, again, just Eric and myself, because when I said cream of mushroom soup to the kids, they went, oh, hell no.
Oh, they'll love it.
But Emily had taquitos. Cole is still contemplating what he's going to make. I don't have to wash anything because I washed it all when I brought it home from the grocery store. You never know,
I know, I've got
now
it.
what you're bringing
I know,
home,
I'm videoing
right?
on the other side here.
All right, so the onions are just about well translucent. I don't know if you can see these or not, because my cameraman is a little bit busy multitasking. This way, thank you. See how they're just a little bit clear now? This is the consistency that you want them. Just a little clearer or translucent.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna add the garlic, and the garlic is just going to cook until it's fragrant, until you can smell it. You wanna be careful with your garlic. If it overcooks, it becomes bitter and it ruins everything. So you wanna be careful. So I waft the smell a lot. It's almost there.
Myself.
It doesn't take very long at all to cook. All right. Once that's ready, we're gonna add the mushrooms. Oh, it smells really good. Again, if they had a smell
Delicate
factor
moment. The
button.
mushrooms are going in.
So the mushrooms look pretty immense, but they're gonna cook down.
Immense mushrooms.
Yeah, immense. So we'll let that go for a bit. Well, I have to say they're a nice thinly sliced mushroom, if I do say so myself. Let this cook. I'm going to clean this bowl because I can use it again. I don't need this other one. I try to minimize the amount of things that I use because one thing I hate more than anything is having to clean up too much afterwards. So I'm going to get the tomatoes and the rub ready for that, or the liquid that I'm going to brush on. They're going to be really delicate, so I'm going to use a brush versus just tossing them. Typically with like potatoes, I would toss them in olive oil and seasonings, but these tomatoes, it's a plum tomato that I'm just going to quarter or eighth. And are you guys watching me? Okay, because it gets kind of weird. All right, so anyway, got my tomatoes. I'm gonna pour out the stem. That one doesn't really have much. And then I'm just gonna cut them into pieces, right? Put them in here. Get the next one. Oh, everything's smelling really good over here on the cooktop. All right, let's give this a stir. I don't know if you can tell, but it's already gone down. The mass has gone down. So we're just reducing now, and all of this goodness is cooking together to create some really amazing flavor. And this is the base of your soup. And the beauty of soup, you can make anything in your fridge out of soup. What do you think minestrone is? It's just leftovers. So if you are at a loss for what to do with everything that's sitting in your fridge and you know you don't want to throw it out, make soup. Give me a call. Ask me. I'm happy to take a look at what's in your fridge and help you figure out what to do with it. All right, so let's see. I think we're going to want a little bit of olive oil on top of these puppies. Just a tad bit. I thought I took out, yeah. All right, some salt and pepper. Be careful, don't use too much salt. You can always add it later, but you can't take it out, right? All right, I'm gonna stir this up again. This is actually ready for the wine. I'm not the only one that's gonna enjoy some wine.
Nice.
All right, so I'm using about a half a cup. It should be Marsala, but like I said, I don't have Marsala wine. I have port, thanks to Lorena and Johnny, who gave that to me for my birthday, because Eric and I love a fine bottle of port, and they were very generous. So thank you again for that, you guys. So I'm gonna let that cook down. I want the alcohol to cook out. It's gonna take about 3 minutes. It won't take very long. But still, while that's doing that, I'm prepping my tomatoes. I'm gonna put my little handy dandy convection oven on broil and get that going nice and hot. I'm gonna add some thyme, some oregano. That won't shut. Too much time in my hand. Too much time in my hand. Some of you might say you have too much time on your hands. So I'd be curious to find out what you are doing with all of that free time that you have on your hands, guys. What are some of the interesting things? Like, has anybody made any of those crazy videos? Cole's AP environmental instructor shared with us a video yesterday about an Australian, I don't know, researcher who's out in the yard, and he found the missing link to society or to life, and it was a roll of toilet paper. It was the funniest thing ever. I mean, you guys, what people are coming up with is hysterical. It's fantastic. And Eric has a theory that our society is just going to be crazy by the time that this is all over and done with. What else? Maybe a little bit of red pepper flakes on that. And I did say I was going to brush it. I didn't, did I? I just tossed it. So I think my husband's more of a distraction tonight than he was last week. So anyway, I'm just going to tossly now, gently toss these with the seasoning and get them well coated. I have a prepared sheet pan here, ready to go. And I'm just going to place the tomatoes on here. And we'll have to turn these at some point, gently, so that they get equal color. We do want them to release some of their acids a little bit and caramelize. And the flavor that's going to be added to the salad will be immense. It'll just be fantastic. All right. So I'm going to put those in. Let me close this up. All right, I'm getting ready with the flour. Actually, I want that to cook down just a little bit more. It's still too much liquid. So while that's cooking down, I'm going to pour out 4 cups of I use, by the way, stock always in everything that I make. I use stock. I don't use broth. It just has more flavor. And I choose to use the unsalted stuff because you can add the salt. You can't take it out again. All right, 4 cups. And this tends to splash. All right, so I had about 2 cups left over from the last time that I needed this. Here we garbage. And 2 more cups. And by the way, this whole process should only take about 30 minutes. It really is not very long at all to make this dinner.
You guys are froze. Your videos are froze, so
And there's Eric in the background. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, so now definitely more of that liquid has reduced down. It's time to add the flour.
I'm frozen.
And it's about 4 tablespoons of flour. I'm not going to add it all at once because the worst thing you want is clumped up flour. So make sure you fold this in and allow it to be equally distributed, and then you can add some more. And I like to do things in thirds. I think even a decorator told me once it's good to hang 3 pictures or 3 items or have 3 things out on a table to display, but always in thirds.
you guys all froze. I had to restart.
All right, so you see that's getting really nice and thick.
Had to restart.
And I'm gonna let that flour cook for a little bit.
It is indeed.
I'm gonna put this away. Check on the tomatoes. And while they're going, I got, to finish the salad off, some Greek olives and the artichoke hearts in olive oil. That's the key. They have to be in olive oil because this is going to end up being part of your dressing, whereas we're not using a store-bought dressing. That off a little bit. cutting board nice and ready. Check these again. Because again, we're just cooking this flour out a little bit.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be nice and thick. All right, I'm going to add the stock. And again, in thirds, okay? That's about a third. That's about 2/3. And right now I'm scraping up the bottom of the pan, and that's where a lot of that flavor is locked in right now. And then we're going to let that cook out for about 10-15 minutes. All right. Gonna hold that here. Okay, we're gonna get the artichokes ready. And there wasn't much to choose from at the store. I don't know if you guys have been to the store since everything started, but things are hard to find. In addition to toilet paper, things are hard to find. So, these are actually looking really good the way that they're already prepared. I might slice them up just a little bit more to make them go a little bit further. Because again, like last week, it's just myself and Eric for dinner. Unless Cole changes his mind and wants to be adventurous. And these are not 100% packed in oil, which is what I would prefer, but I just couldn't find that. So, I think that that's probably good. I'm going to save the rest of those for another day. Those I'm going to hold on to. These I'm going to save. But I'm not going to put them away just yet because I'm going to need their liquid. Then the other thing I'm going to do is just get my lemon prepped. The interesting thing about the lemon that you need to know is I'm not going to use anything to juice it. I'm just going to squeeze it, but I'm going to remove the seeds prior to that. All right, so we have to really let this cook out a bit. So to prep the lemon, a little secret to getting rid of the lemon seeds is to use a fork and just press it around, twirl it around a little bit on the top of the lemon, and there go your seeds. So you won't get any seeds if you're just going to squeeze the lemon. But if you have a cut, it kind of takes me back to using or cutting up jalapenos last week. It's gonna burn. It's gonna burn. All right, those are ready. So we're just waiting for this to cook down. We're gonna need a cup of heavy cream when this is all said and done. So I'm gonna get that prepared. Oh, and a little bit of thyme will make that very flavorful too. 1 cup? Yeah, 1 cup. I'm gonna cut it back. I don't know if I need a full cup or not based on the size of the serving. But I am going to add a little bit of flavor to this now. A little bit of thyme. Let that cook in.
Hey, Jaden.
All right. Gonna take a little bit of a wine break. So have you guys been practicing cooking this week? Because I think with all the time that people have on their hands right now, a lot of my friends seem to have been experimenting a lot. I know my friend Jess Alexander down the street, she made a beautiful dinner, it looked like, with filet mignon and roasted baby carrots, and I can't remember what else was on her plate, but it looked fantastic. All right, so that's been cooking, gosh, only for about 4 minutes. We really want this to go at least 10 minutes and cook down a bit. So we're gonna work on that. If you ever want to thicken a soup or anything, just to add a little bit of cornstarch to some water. I'm gonna put some on the side in case I feel I need it. Where's the cornstarch?
Whoa.
Emily and Cole were both baking this week, so I don't know where everything is that I would typically use. Let's see. Where is my cornstarch?
I don't know.
Really, Em? Oh, Emily's here. I just heard her. She's in the back there behind Dad. Oh, I know I have cornstarch. There's some cornstarch. I actually have ample amounts of cornstarch. Okay.
No.
Alright, so I think I'm going to add just a little bit. This is boiling a little bit too much. It shouldn't be at such a heavy boil. We really want it more at a simmer. We're going to let that thicken up a little bit. Although it does look pretty good actually. And once I add the heavy cream, it's going to be wonderful. Alright. I'm going to check on these tomatoes, and let me get a hot pad here. Oh yeah, that's getting nice and thick. All right, those tomatoes are looking awesome. They're just about done. Yum. All right, I'm gonna taste this before I add cream or anything. Again, dinner doesn't have to be so hard. Need some more pepper. I need a new pepper mill. So the pepper mill we had broke, and it was a Cole and Mason pepper mill, which I had to buy because my son is Cole Mason. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm gonna add just a little bit more salt. Alright, we're gonna let that cook down. Here's Emily. Hi. I'm gonna let these cool off. I'd actually like to just put them in the fridge. And so here's what I'm gonna do. Where I have the salad, I'm gonna put the tomatoes and let those cool off a little bit. So we're not putting a hot tomato on top of a nice chilled salad. And actually, while that's happening, we will add in the artichokes, the Greek olives. So by the way, the salad already had red onions and red peppers in it. So we're not doing a whole lot to it. I need some of the oil from the artichokes. And I'm going to add just a little bit of my own olive oil. because again, that wasn't packed well in oil.
Hey, Logan.
And some lemon. All the seeds are, yeah. So, just the lemon juice. It's not even all of half of a lemon that I'm putting on there either. Then, we'll toss it. With some tongs. I don't know if you can see how pretty that looks, but it's beautiful. All right, so the soup is just about ready. We're going to add, oh, you know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna add a bouillon cube because this will be like the secret to getting a lot of good flavor in there. This bouillon cube will dissolve and give it just a boost of flavor. So we'll let that cook. I'm gonna turn the heat down a bit. I don't know if you can see how nice and thick that is, but it's also got a nice consistency. It didn't break at all. It's not quite ready. Right, once we add the cream, it's gonna be beautiful. So we'll let that cook down. Put away the lemon that's left over, because I'm not going to need a whole lemon. Some salad. And we can clean up a little bit. As we drop stuff all over the place. That can get washed. This will go away.
Ooh. Freddy sounds good, yeah.
What's this? Oh. How about some bread? Maybe we'll add some bread to this tonight. I have some nice sourdough. This out on the table. This will be good for French bread in the morning too. And then I'm just going to put this in the toaster just to keep it warm. And let's see. All right, I think we're ready to add the cream. So I'm going to actually turn the heat down really low. I'm going to slowly pour that cream in. Again, get it incorporated. I don't want to shock it because the cream is still a little bit cool, but I did let it sit out at room temperature for a bit, which is kind of important. And you can see it's starting to take on a lighter color, maybe something that you're a little bit more familiar with when you think of cream of mushroom soup, because the wine made it pretty dark. And there you have it. I'm gonna let that cook just a little bit and then we're ready. So while that's just heating up, I'm gonna add the tomatoes to the salad.
I know, what are you doing?
And here we go. See, they're really delicate if the cameraman was over here. And I'm just going to gently incorporate those, but not a lot. right, so then these are ready to go. I'm gonna put them at the table. What happened over here? Going to get our serving bowls ready and our plates. I'll put a little butter out with the bread. Put that out on the table. And let's see how this is doing. All right. All right, let's see. Mmm. Wow, that's delicious. Turning off the heat. I'm gonna serve it up. And then we're gonna be good to go, everybody. Do you have any questions? Real quick, Eric, are there any questions?
Nope.
All right. I have rather large bowls, but we're not gonna fill them up all the way. Just enough. All right. So come on over, Eric.
Hey, Rachel.
We're gonna eat. Okay, everybody. Well, I was hoping to finish this a different way, but bon appetit. Until our next What's in Your Fridge. Thanks so much. Bye.